here with our cylinder that we're building, right? We have this first coil on. We're gonna talk about stacking additional coils on top of this. It is a very similar process. Like when we stack this first one, I'm gonna come here and I'm going to score the coil that's on top. Again, emphasizing that I'm actually making marks. I'm actually pushing down, creating those little crumblies that we want. I'm not trying to rip this clay off of the cylinder. And you can see I'm almost even holding that coil in place with my off thumb, right? Making sure that it's aligned just like we did in our earlier video. But we take that, we take our second coil that we have that we're going to stack. I'm going to score it again just like we did with the first coil that we added to that cylinder. You can see once I get to the end, I'm going to spray the coil, and that's a really important part. And I'm always spraying the coil and then adding it to my project rather than spraying my actual project or even both. Right? We only need kind of one wet piece of clay to attach to a dry one. That's enough water. If we start to do both, the clay gets really soft and really starts to do things that we don't want to do when we build. Water can also build up inside of our projects and making kind of that bottom, which already is in jeopardy of cracking and breaking and being the weak spot, it makes it just that much weaker. Okay, so I'm here, I'm gonna spray my coil. One thing I'm gonna do is I talked about those cracks that I had. I'm gonna try to layer on my coil over top of those cracks, trying not to layer a seam or a crack on top of another one. Okay. Do what I did before, come here. I'm gonna cut off that extra that I think that I don't need. And then I'm coming back here with that triangle and making sure that as I tap this second coil down, it is not too far in, not too far out. We want to make sure that this coil is stacked right on top of each other so that when we eventually smooth this out, this cylinder, the walls are going to be straight up and down instead of kind of leaning in or leaning out, which is what will happen if you stack your coils not directly right on top of each other. So we've attached one coil here. We're going to continue up, building for as tall as we need to get, kind of repeating that same stacking coil process.